Judy, come see this. It looks like almost $20,000. Hey everyone, Michael here.
And Judy.
And we are the Go Watkins Go family. We're here today to go over some expenses of living in Nicaragua.
We were there for 6 months and spent about a total of $20,000 for a family of 4.
And so we're going to go through each item. We mostly spent time in San Juan del Sur, as well as a little bit in Granada and Managua and Amatepe, and just had a wonderful time there. And people think it's always so expensive to live abroad, and we're gonna give our real numbers out, and you guys can comment and let us know what you think.
Our expenses that we're going to go through do not include airfare. The total to get to Central America and back for our family of 4 was about $1,000. We didn't include that in these numbers because these are just our living expenses while we were in Nicaragua. So you want to talk about lodging?
Yeah, let's talk about lodging. Lodging obviously was one of the biggest expenses we had. We stayed in 3 wonderful different places. We stayed in a place downtown area. And then kind of everything happened with the pandemic, so we went up a little bit on the hillside. We stayed at a place, Santa Maria, and we stayed at a place called Pelican Eyes. So the cost for that did range. It was about $1,150 a month as an average. One of the months was lower, around 700 and some, and a few of the others were around under 1,000. And the Santa Maria one was the more expensive one. It did have a little pool on the outside.
We stayed there. We chose to stay there after the pandemic, even though it was above our budget, because we just didn't know what was going to happen. And we wanted to make sure that we were safe, that the boys had a place to play, that we had a place to cool off, because April and May are the hottest months in Nicaragua. So that was definitely a splurge that we don't normally do when we were there for April, May, 2 months.
Yep. And so next with lodging is utilities. So a lot of places in Nicaragua, the utilities did not include some of the internet and electricity. In some places water was covered, and some places water was not covered. But that came out to being $180 a month on average.
Way less than we spent in Atlanta.
Yes. So after lodging, next thing, big ticket item is food. So we kind of categorized food into different things. The first was groceries. We averaged about $775 a month for groceries. Came out to be about $4,600 for the 6 months. And the groceries were a lot of markets that we went to. And they were a lot cheaper than in the States. The next thing was also because of the pandemic, we didn't eat out as much probably as we normally would. So our grocery was a little bit higher for Nicaragua. The dining out was about $100 a month, or $630 for the 6 months. So entertainment, we kind of put into a few different categories. A little bit of it gets mixed. The entertainment and the kids. So entertainment was about $300 a month, or $1,800 for the 6 months. And the kids were about $122 for different specific things for the kids per month.
And that included things like Spanish lessons, surf lessons, horseback riding. Prior to the pandemic, we all joined a gym, the Fight Club in Nicaragua. So there's so many activities. But even doing all of that, the cost of our entertainment and our activities in Nicaragua was much cheaper than in Atlanta, with aftercare for the kids, soccer, football, and those going to the movies, those types of things.
Yep. And one of the next things, transportation. So we did get around a lot by bus, but we also did for 2 months or so, we rented a few-year-old truck That was fantastic. Stick shift. Got to learn how to drive stick in Nicaragua. That was wonderful. So we averaged about $240 a month for that. All transportation, which is about $1,400 for the 6 months, and that included insurance and gas. And then the only other things we kind of had, we had some charity. It was about $142 a month. Some other was about $10, $15 a month. And merchandise, different things we bought, was about $100 a month.
We made a few trips to Walmart to buy pool noodles, some new shoes for the boys because they were growing. But overall, we didn't acquire too many things. When you live out of backpacks, there's good incentive not to acquire while you're traveling.
We did not have health insurance. A lot of people told us if you get what you need to get, if you need some medicine or anything like that, you could easily just go to the store, pick that up.
Luckily, we didn't have any major health issues while we were there. When we travel in the future, we will have catastrophic coverage if one of us had to be hospitalized or airlifted back home. And we do recommend having some sort of health insurance when you travel.
Yes, and so that ended up costing us about $70 a month or $400 for the 6 months, and that was getting just some prescriptions. We also went to the dentist, and we all had our teeth cleaned and x-rays done, and that was the basics for that. So in total, we spent about $3,200 a month, and that was close to $19,000, $20,000 if you include airfare for expenses in Nicaragua, which does not count any types of travel credits or incentives we have with credit cards and all that to even lower it more.
And we could have probably done it cheaper. Our lodging
Yes.
could have definitely been cheaper. There were places that seemed nice. We just opted for places that had pools and more area for the kids to run around and possibly meet other kids.
Yes, because of the pandemic, we definitely decided to spend just a little more to have a little more comfort in our living situation because
We were home.
we were home a lot more. So
We get a lot of questions. How can you possibly afford it? It's actually way cheaper than when we were living in Atlanta. So it is possible to do it on a budget and have a great time.
Yep. And now we're back in the States, we're quarantining, and we're going to keep you posted of what we're going to be doing next. So for the next several weeks, going to probably post some throwback videos of some trips in the United States, so stand by for that. Lastly, we wanted to give a shout out to just some people that we had met along the way who helped us greatly while we were in Nicaragua. Dr. Cora with Sun Care Dental. She was amazing, awesome. Gabrielle or Gabby Castillo with Pelican Eyes.
She showed us some places in Pelican Eyes and was a great resource in Nicaragua. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Joanne Stoltz for when we stayed at Santa Maria. Wonderful help. Fernando and Maria for
Anika Spanish School.
by Oro Hotel. And Everett, shout out to him, always delivered our food to us. That was awesome. And Henry for always getting us our water. Bastion at the O Shop for surf lessons with Miguel. That was wonderful. Claudia, Big Sky Ranch. Kids loved horseback riding there. Julie and John for a lot of their local support, and the owners of the day school there in San Juan. And Sarah and Alex, fellow nomads we met along the way, had a son, Tyler, and played with the kids every day.
Are still playing with them online.
Yep.
So that's great.
Yep. The kids made a lot of online different friends that they keep in touch with still. So
And the
it's
Fight
awesome.
Club.
And the Fight Club, that was a wonderful place that we all were members at for a little bit. So thanks to all the people out there. Love Nicaragua, and stay tuned for more adventures.